marketing procurement, advertising procurement. You've definitely heard these terms floating around, right? And hey, a lot of people use them like they're the same thing. But are they? Or is one just a small piece of a much, much bigger puzzle? Let's dive in and get this cleared up for good.
So what is the real difference here? Seriously, is this just a bunch of corporate buzzwords, or does getting this distinction right actually make or break a company's success? We're going to solve this together, and I promise it's way more straightforward than you think. And let's be super clear about this from the get-go. This is not just about words or fancy job titles. Nope. This is the fundamental difference between your grand strategy and your on-the-ground tactics. And getting this right, well, that's how you build a real, powerful growth engine for your business. Okay, to make this all click, I want you to think about a really simple but honestly a perfect analogy: building a house. This idea is going to be the foundation, pun intended, for everything we talk about next.
So imagine marketing procurement is your general contractor. This is the person in charge of the entire project. They hire the architect, they pour the foundation, they make sure the plumbers, electricians, and roofers all show up and work together. They've got the whole blueprint. Now, advertising procurement, they're like your master specialist, the absolute best electrician you can find to wire the place, or the painter who gives you that flawless finish. It's a critical, specialized job for sure, but it's still just one part of the whole build.
All right, now that we've got that big picture analogy in our heads, let's zoom in and get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to do a side-by-side breakdown of the 6 key areas where these two roles are just fundamentally different.
Okay, this table really lays it all out. You can see the pattern, right? On the left, with advertising procurement, everything is specific, it's focused, the scope is just ads. The goal is short-term campaigns, the stakeholders are usually just the ad agencies. But then look to the right, at marketing procurement. Everything is broad, it's strategic, the scope is all marketing activities. The intent is long-term brand building, and the metrics, they're tied to huge business goals. It's really the difference between a sniper rifle and a wide-angle lens.
So when it comes to measuring success in advertising procurement, it's all about the campaign level. We're asking really specific questions like, how many people actually clicked on this ad? What did it cost us to get one new customer from this specific campaign? It's all about those immediate, tactical results.
Now, let's flip that coin and look at marketing procurement. Here, we are talking about huge business-level outcomes. The questions get way bigger, like what's our total return on our entire marketing investment? Is our brand actually worth more this year than last year? Are we stealing market share from our competitors? See the difference? We've gone from looking at a single tree to surveying the entire forest.
Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this all look like in a real company, day to day? Let's tackle some of the most common questions people have just to see how this works in practice. This is a fantastic question, and one I get all the time. You know, if you're in a startup or a small business, you don't have this massive team. So are these two separate jobs, or does one person just end up wearing both hats?
And the answer is, yep, absolutely. For most small and even medium-sized businesses, you'll have one person, maybe a marketing procurement manager, or even a general procurement pro, handling all of it. This specialization, this splitting into two distinct roles, that really only starts to happen when a company gets bigger and its marketing budget starts getting a lot more complex.
Okay, here's another key question that helps understand the whole dynamic. What about the corporate ladder? Is one of these roles more senior? How does the org chart usually shake out?
The org chart pretty much always follows the scope of the job. You know, since advertising is just one piece of that bigger marketing puzzle, the advertising procurement specialist almost always reports up to the head of marketing procurement. It's just like our analogy, the painter reports to the general contractor. It just makes sense and keeps the whole project on track. So, we've walked through the analogy, we've broken down the details, and we've answered the common questions. Now, let's pull it all together for one final crystal clear takeaway.
If you remember one thing, let it be this: advertising procurement executes the campaign. It's all about getting those ads out the door effectively and efficiently. Marketing procurement, on the other hand, builds the entire engine for growth. It's about choosing all the right partners, the right technologies, the right strategies to push the business forward for years to come.
And that really brings us to our final thought. As you go back and look at your own organization, I want you to ask yourself this question. Is your team just focused on painting the walls, on wiring the outlets, or are they stepping back, looking at the whole blueprint, and actually building the entire house? Because understanding that difference, well, that's everything.